if you're trying to begin to learn how to sit cross-legged, not always a comfortable posture for folks, I recommend sitting on a blanket or two and or a block or two, or a block and a blanket. Because what happens, and I'll put this block underneath my blanket because it makes it more comfortable. So what happens physically, you can see what happens and you can experience it for yourself, is that my hips are a little bit higher than my knees. And so what happens is if I can allow myself to breathe into the hips and the knees, it might feel a little more comfortable because my hips are raised. And then you can also, if you're stacked on two blankets and you still have your two blocks, you can place those blocks gently underneath your thigh or your knee. And so you're supported, and you can even take your feet out a little bit if you don't want to draw them in and really cross them at the ankle or the shin, and try that. You can also take pillows underneath. So I'm just explaining this so that you can begin to practice sitting in what's considered easy sit, which isn't always easy. But it is important to learn how to use the props and how to begin to allow our bodies to be not so challenged by some of the postures. And if we use our props, perhaps we can begin to let ourselves relax into these postures. And I have to say, I never usually sit up on a block and a blanket. I usually just plop my rear end on the mat. This feels pretty comfy right now. So, and once again, if this is just no way, Jose, choose another posture to sit in. Sit in a chair, sit with your legs out, sit on your shins, whatever will work for you. And then drop your shoulders. Close your eyes for a moment. Exhale everything out. Yes. And begin to inhale deeply to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Sip in more breath. And slowly exhale. 5, 4, 3. Keeping the spine long. 2, and 1. And inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top. Sip in more breath. And exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2. All the way out. 1. And last round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sip in more breath. That would be 5. And exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just return to the cadence of your own breath. And then let's just bring our hands together in front of our heart center. Normally we close this way. We're going to open this way. And bring your thumbs to your chest and bow your head gently, just allowing yourself a moment of peace and calm, and just to think about what you're grateful for. Anything, maybe multiple things. Good thing to practice, right? The things we have in our life, the people we have in our life, the shelter we have in our life, the food we have to eat. And then release your hands gently with palms open. Open your eyes. And then just check out where your shoulders are. Are they all up? Hopefully you're nice and relaxed with a long spine. And gently turn your head to the right. Come back to center. Gently move your head to the left. Come back to center. Bring the chin down to the chest, stretching the back of the neck. And come on up. Let's take your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders back and down. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then gently gaze up. Stretching the front of the neck. And bring the head back to neutral. We're going to stay seated for a moment. I'm going to come off my setup and come back down. And this time recross your legs with maybe your not favorite leg or the one that you always put in front. Place that one in front. Good. And then I want you to take your hands in front of your knees, like you're really grabbing them. And I want you to start to roll. We're going to practice in Kundalini Yoga, they call these Sufi rolls. And I want you to think about coming forward, sideways, back, where you almost fall over, like Humpty Dumpty inside. And I want you to practice this 5 or 6 times, warming up the spine, the hips, the knees, rolling around fluidly. And then when you finish 5 or 6, reverse. You can even get your shoulders into it. Roly, roly, holy. Good. And then come back to center. Bring your knees together. Release your legs. Shake them out. Good. And then grab that strap. And let's bend the knees slightly. And so your feet are flexed. And you're kind of, I say, sitting on your heels. Right? I'm looking at my feet. Oh, good. They're kind of clean. Good. I usually walk barefoot all day. And then take a strap underneath your arches, right? So you're kind of on a hayride. Roll the shoulders back and down. Drop them down. Good. And then gently slide those heels out. Any amount without jamming your knees. And gently draw the knees back in towards your torso, bending them. Good. Keep the shoulders out of it. You're just holding onto your strap. And we're going to practice this 5 or 6 times, right? So we often do this kind of stuff on our backs, right? But we're going to do it seated because we're holding our spine long. We're drawing our belly in a little bit. Yeah, right? So we're working the hips and the knees. And then straighten the legs out as much as possible. You can always leave a slight bend in the knee. Good. And then hinging from the hips, I want you to start to move those hands on the strap closer towards the feet, any amount. And just hang out here for a moment. Take a couple breaths here. And then hinging from the hips, elongating the spine, thinking about the sternum, the chest coming towards your legs, towards your toes. Yeah, it's a pretty deep stretch if you have your toes moving towards you, your feet flexed. Pretty deep stretch in the back of the legs, yeah? Good. Now allow yourself to just round down. Let that head bob down. If you want to reach forward and get a little more length in the back of the legs and the torso, you can try to hold your feet, but you don't have to. You can hang onto the strap. And just relax your shoulders, and let's take 5 breaths here. Make sure the neck is relaxed. Nod your head up and down. Yes, I'm so relaxed. And then come on up. Keep your strap by you. Take the legs wide. And let's just do, it's kind of goofy. You're just going to bend one knee. Your feet are flexed though, and stretch it out. It might not go all the way straight. You're going to take the other leg. Yep. And you're just going to do this, like do, 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 and sing a little song. I'm kind of goofy today. I've been reading the Dalai Lama's The Art of Happiness. It has been sitting on my bookshelf for years. And he's so funny. He cracks me up. He's a funny dude. Okay, sit up tall. That's why I'm kind of goofy today. All right, press the thighs down into the mat. Flex the feet so much. If you look closely, my heels are a little bit off the ground, like on purpose, because I'm showing you how much I would want to encourage you to press those thighs down. Now, the heels may not come up, and that's okay. All right, good. And then turn to the left leg, lasso the foot, Sit up tall, drop the shoulders. Remember, this other leg is actively working. So the foot is flecked, the knee and the toes are pointing up. Good. So you're a little bit twist, forward fold. Here we go. Hinging from the hip. I want you to be cautious and mindful and obviously honor your body, because you may feel a deep sensation in the right lower hip, maybe the glutes. And I want you to be careful with your back because it is a slight twist. And then maybe reach your arms further towards the foot. And then same as we did before, drop the head. Round down, round the shoulders. Maybe you can stretch your arms a little further, maybe not, that's okay. And let's take 5 breaths here. Awesome. Come on up. Shake out the legs. Shake them out. Maybe have the feet go forward, back. Shake them out. Maybe even bring them together because the hips are singing. And then bring them back out. Set them up. Turn to the right foot. Lateral. Good. Sit up tall. Left foot is working. Good. And then turn gently and start to fold from the hips. Doesn't matter where you are, you're going to be where you should be, honoring your body. And I always feel on my non-dominant side, my left side, the hamstring is always a bit tighter with a capital letter B. And then see if you can round down. Maybe you could stretch your arms a little bit forward. Nod the head, let that neck be loose. Let the shoulders be rounded and take 5 breaths. And then come on up. Yay. Shake out the legs. Place your strap by the side. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let's practice a lengthy Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. So the heels are away from the pelvis. Take your hands behind. You might be on your fingertips or you might have flat hands. Roll the shoulders back and down. So it's a nice open chest. Gaze up to the ceiling. And now come forward, reach the arms forward, palms are facing each other. I want you to reach, keep reaching. Don't go down yet, just reach forward like you're grabbing the big brass ring of happiness. Keep reaching, I'm not going down yet, maybe a little bit. Yeah, and you might say, ooh, that's too much, I'm gonna back up, that's okay. Reach as far as you can and then allow yourself to round down. Drop the head, drop the shoulders. 5 breaths here. Beautiful, and then come back up, keeping the soles of the feet together. Draw the heels closer towards your growing area. I like to hold on to my feet together or ankles. And once again, let's be a little fluid. Let's rock side to side. Yeah, let's get a little movement going. Maybe 4 or 5 more times. Right? Let's get the energy flowing, the chi, the energy flowing through the body. Good. And then go ahead and bring the knees together. Roll over so that you're in figure 4, so that we're in tabletop, right? Great time to practice, especially if you have arthritis like I do, spreading your fingers, placing them down, really spread them. Wrists are underneath, the hands are underneath the shoulders, the knees are underneath the hips. And let's practice cat-cow by inhaling, drawing the sternum up, and exhaling, pressing the mid-back, dropping the tailbone, dropping the head. And then let's practice this at our own speed, however long. If you want to take 2 or 3 breaths for each fluid movement, you do that. Some of us like to go a little faster. Yeah, cat-cow. Mobilizing the spine. I like to also kind of take my hips back one way, take them back the other. Feels kind of groovy. Forward, back. So give yourself a moment. Finish up your cat-cows. And then take that right hand and weave it underneath the left arm, right? So once again, let me just remind you that if you find it challenging or you have any shoulder irritation or impingements, stay up a little. You can also take your blanket, which is lovely, and you can place your shoulder on the blanket or your just side cheek, both of them, all right? You can place your block, whatever it is that you need to do to allow yourself to basically stretch your shoulder in this posture. Right, threading the needle. And then come on up gently, tabletop, wash it through the cat-cow. Right, really push that mid back up. Come back to tabletop and thread the opposite arm through. Each side's gonna be different, right folks? Come down on the cheek, down on the shoulder if you can. Couple breaths here. Beautiful, and then come back up. Everybody take a child's pose. Let's take our knees as wide as the mat, bring the toes in. Draw the hips back as far as you can, and then attempt to bring the forehead to the mat. Right? Stretch those arms out in front of you, if you will. 5 breaths. And then let's crawl those hands to the right side. Crawl them over, arms are long, we're in child's pose. And you're opening up the side ribs, right? We're kind of like the letter C a little bit. And then come back to center. Same thing, go to the opposite side. Crawl, crawl, crawl. It's especially lovely. It's lovely for all of us, but if you've been sitting in a chair a lot today working. And then come back to center. Child's pose. And then come to tabletop. Okay, let's do a little bit more ab work, right? Like we did Thursday. So come down to your forearms. I'm actually warming up here. So you're coming down to your forearms. You're either parallel, right? And you're on your forearms, or your hands are clasped and your elbows are, same thing if your arms are parallel, your elbows are shoulder width. So we're pressing into our arms to press up out of the shoulders so that we don't sink into the shoulders. We don't want to do that. Okay, here we are. Let's take that right foot back. Now, if this is where you'd like to stay today, stay here with one knee down. We're working on forearm plank right now. But if you can, take that other leg, even if it's only for a few seconds, press up out of the arms, press for the heels, neck is long, we're in forearm plank. So whatever it is that you can do, go to that space. 5 breaths, 2 breaths, 10 breaths, 30 seconds. You can also, just like I'm doing here, you can bring your knees down and continue to press up out of the shoulders, right? And draw the belly in. So see how long you could do that. Forearm plank. And then if you haven't come down already, come down and go to a child's pose. This time, let's allow our arms to go back by our feet. And let your shoulders round. Couple deep breaths here. Move that breath through the body. Move the energy through the body. Beautiful. And then let's come back to set up for another forearm. This time we're going to take the opposite leg first, left leg. Press up out of those arms though. It's so easy to hurt your shoulders by sinking down, right? The chest is long and your belly is drawn in. You're a plank. Neck is long. So once again, see if you can go a few breaths past what you might normally do, but yet again, honoring your body. Sometimes I get tired and I bring my knees down and I'm like, whew, and then the rest of the class will still be up and I, say, is this my ego talking or can I do some more? Nah, I could do some more. And then I come back up. So plank. We're not stuck, we're just in plank. And then come back to child's pose. Have your arms wherever you like. This time I'm going to stack my hands and place my forehead on my hands. I'm going to breathe into my low back. And then let's come back to tabletop and tuck those toes under. And let's come up to our first down dog. Oh yeah, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Here we go. Woo, those legs are tight. Let's pedal them out. And remember, this actually is, right, a standing pose. We're upside down, but we're working the legs. Now, if you'd like to take your feet a little wider, you can, wider than the hips. Let's all bend our knees generously and take our hips back so that our belly can come towards the thighs, right? And then let's take our hips up. Lengthen the legs and try to bring the heels towards the mat. 4 more breaths here, you can do it. Ears and head are in between the arms. So we're an upside down V. And then let's come forward. Now you might have to adjust your hands and your feet to a regular plank. Right? And then let's move back to down dog. And forward to plank. And down dog. We're going to practice 2 more of those. Forward to plank. And down dog. Last one. Plank. You can always bring your knees down. And down dog. Woo! And then let's walk our feet and hands together. Bend your knees generously. Hang down like a rag doll and maybe rock back and forth like a rag doll. Head is down. Good. And then let's see if you can grab your elbows, drop your head. My knees are still bent. Now you could stay here, relax the upper body, or see if you can lengthen the legs. In other words, extend the knees, straighten the legs, by taking the hips up, and folding forward. Try to relax the breath. And then switch the holding of your elbows. Release the arms, bend the knees, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Head comes up last. Yay! That was a little bit different warm-up, right? Okay, let's get to it. Standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's practice 3 half sun salutations, Surya Namaskar A. Here we go. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, drop halfway. Lengthen that spine. Take those shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold forward. Draw the arms all the way up. Really reach. Look up. Oh, big stretch up. And bring the hands together in front of your heart center. And again, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Draw up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Draw all the way up, really reach up, and bring your hands together in front of your heart center. Third round, here we go. Inhale. Right. Shoulders feel better. Breath feels better. And forward fold again. And draw those arms all the way up. Reach up. And bring your hands to your heart center. Beautiful. Okay, let's practice 2 full Surya Namaskar A's. Woo, haven't done that for a while, I think, in full glory. So, here we go. Inhale, draw your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Draw up halfway, lengthen. Bend your knees, look forward. Bring your hands down, step or jump to plank. And then you can go directly back to down dog if you like, or practice vinyasa, right? Draw the elbows in, come forward a bit. I'm gonna bring my knees down for chaturanga, and then come up to low cobra, which I'm demonstrating now, or you can draw the hands back a little bit below the ribs and come up to up dog. Knees off the mat. So your choice, cobra or up dog. And then tuck those toes under and come on back to that down doggy, Adho Svanasana. And see if you can be still and quiet for 5 breaths. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the front of your mat. Draw up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Draw those arms all the way up. Reach up, look up. Bring the hands together. Yay, in front of the heart center. Feels good, right? Grateful I can get through that. Here we go, last one. And remember, you're gonna honor yourself. So if you become fatigued or it's too challenging or you're just darn tired today, drop down to a child's pose. Here we go. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, fold forward. Draw up halfway, lengthen. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back so that you're in a high plank. So you could stay here for a few breaths if you like to practice that and move back to the down dog. Otherwise, we're gonna practice a little vinyasa. I'm gonna bring my knees down, draw my elbows in, move forward, and I'm gonna come down to go up to up dog, or you can be in a low cobra. And then tuck those toes under. Come back to your down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. 5 breaths here. Believe it or not, the more you practice yoga, you may find this is and can be considered a resting pose. A lot of people giggle at that, but true. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the front of your mat, draw up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Draw those arms all the way up, reach up, and bring your hands to your heart center. I would say we should all be warmed up by now, right? Yeah. Let's practice some of our standing poses. And grab your blocks for our standing poses. And let's have your blocks at one end of your mat, right? Shoulder width apart on the high part. So they're one side or the other. Mine are for you it would be my left, to me it's my right. So if that doesn't confuse you, I don't know what. Here we are. We're going to move into our standing poses, starting with Warrior 2. So separate the feet wide. Turn the right foot in. Left foot is pointing towards your blocks. Open up that chest. Arms come out like warriors. But you're going to keep the shoulders down. Just lots of energy through the arms. And then start to bend into that left leg. And once again, knee is tracking the first and second toe. Left hip is drawing into midline, right? It's not sticking out. Gaze over that left hand. 3 breaths. Back hand slaps that thigh. Flip the front palm. Reach way up and over for reverse warrior. And then stretch out that leg even further. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Stretch out the front leg. Come back to Warrior 2. And again, back hand down, flip the palm. Reverse warrior. And then stretch it out. And then come back to Warrior 2. And now for extended warrior, bring that forearm to the thigh. Right hand on the hip, roll the shoulder back, open up the chest, and finish the pose off with the arm coming over next to your head. Good. 2 more breaths here. Press into that back leg. This is a strong and sturdy pose. Come back to Warrior 2. Straighten the leg. Now bring the hands in, and let's turn to face the 2 blocks. And we're going to come up on our back toe. And you're going to start to bend into that hip for a lunge, a high lunge. Arms come up. Anjaneyasana. High lunge. And then reach forward and down and find those blocks. And now we're in a lower lunge. Press into that back heel. You can always bring your knee down. Beautiful. And then let's all bring our knee down. And then let's walk those blocks back towards our hips. And let's scoot that heel out without jamming the knee. Good. And then let's just point and flex that foot. Bending gently, never jamming the joints, right? Good. Beautiful. And then keep the leg long, hinging from the hips. Now, if you really want to work on your balance, don't use your blocks. But you have your blocks there that you can walk forward, right? You can walk them forward. So you can boop, 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 have them here, which also kind of protects our hamstring there. You can also lower them down, or you can keep them back here and work on your balance and coming forward. Drop your head. Few breaths here. Good. And then come back up. Maybe you grab your blocks and draw that heel towards a bent knee. And then come on up. Right? So we have one knee underneath us, one knee in front of us. Bring your hands to your heart center. And let's take a small twist, and we're going to turn towards the outside of the front bent knee. And then if you want to go a little deeper, you certainly can. Take that elbow outside of the knee, press the hands together. I know you can't see, but I know you all know how to do this. Right? So if you want to go a little deeper, press knee into the elbow, elbow into the knee, pressing the hands together, and then drawing the sternum up and open. Yes. Little twist. Let's wring out those organs, those toxins before we stuff it again Thursday. Before we stuff the turkey Thursday. Come back to center. Find your blocks. Stretch that back foot so that you're on the ball of your foot. Good. And then maybe bring it in just a little bit more. And then come back up to lunge, high lunge. Now, this is hard. This is a little tricky, but you could do it. I know you can. Bring the hands to your heart center. And then once again, a little bit of a twist. Turn to the outside of that leg. And then maybe you can bring your arms open, just like the picture Eddie sent you today. Yeah. Come back in, turn. Think about shifting your weight forward and bring that back leg to meet the front leg. Ta-da! Beautiful. Good. Keep the blocks now on this side. Move them to the other side where you weren't, right? I'm going to keep mine over here. Guess I'll turn over there. Okay. Let's do that whole sequence to the other side. But before we do that, let's take 3 deep breaths, coordinating with our arms. So standing in Tadasana, just as you inhale, bring your arms up. As you exhale, bring them down. Let's blow out through our mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. You can even make noise. Inhale again. Exhale. Roll the shoulders back. Roll them forward. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and practice that sequence on the other side. So, legs are wide, feet are parallel. Sturdy legs, right? Now I'm going to turn that right leg in, or left leg in, right leg out, right foot out. Open up the chest, get those arms going, straight arms, and start to bend in to the right leg. And where we get a lot of our strength is you're pressing into that back leg. You don't want to let the knee buckle. Press into it. Go to the outer seam of the foot in the back. 2 more breaths here. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, strong warrior. And then take that back hand, slap that thigh, flip the front palm, reach way up and over for reverse warrior, and then lengthen that leg. Open up those intercostals. Come back to warrior 2. And reverse warrior. And lengthen that leg. Come back to warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Straighten the front leg. Come back to Virabhadrasana 2. And then bring that forearm, the right forearm, to the thigh. We're not leaning, we're just placing. Left hand comes to the hip. I open up my chest. Now you can just stay here if you like, if the shoulder needs a little rest, or you can bring that arm up close to your head. Stretch into that back leg. Extended warrior. 3 more breaths. Strong, strong move. Yeah. Come back to warrior 2. Straighten the leg. Turn towards that front leg, right? We're going to go to those other blocks and come up on the ball of the back foot. Bring those arms up and we're in a high lunge. Anjaneyasana. You can even bend that knee a little bit in the back if that helps. Beautiful. And then take your weight forward, find the blocks. Stretch into that back leg any amount. Yeah. Feels good. And then go ahead and bring that knee down. And then walk those blocks back. And I'm going to just scoot my heel out gently. And I'm going to plane flex that front foot. And the knees come along with it. Good. Whew. And then keep that leg long. Foot is flexed, if you will. And then if you want, you don't have to use the blocks, but they're certainly here. You can walk them forward, right? We're going to hinge forward. If you want to work on your balance a little bit, you cannot use the blocks. And you're just going to stretch out that back hamstring and the calf. And then go ahead, use your blocks if you like. Bring that foot back up so that it's bent. I'm actually going to turn so that I'm facing you once again. Right? Bring our hands to our heart center. Gently twist to the outside of that front bent knee. Good. And this is just a lovely little twist. If you want to go a little deeper, you can take that elbow outside of the knee. So you're not pushing the knee. The knee stays set in between the big toe and the second toe. And you're taking that elbow outside, pressing the hands together, and you're drawing the sternum up. That takes you a little bit deeper. Be careful of your back. Couple breaths here. So you're either upright in your twist or you're deeper. Come back to center. Find the blocks. I threw mine all over the place. Stretch that back leg back again. And then come on up to a high lunge. Yes. And then bring your hands to center. And then turn towards that front bent knee. A little bit of a twist. If you want to bring your arms out, go ahead and do that. Come back in. Turn to center and think about shifting your weight so that the back foot, you might have to do a couple little boop, boop, boop. Back foot comes in. If you can come up more gracefully than I did, more power to you. Okay. Let's practice triangle pose. Oh, yes. Utthita Trikonasana. So you're going to have your chair here, because that's a little higher, or you can bring your hand down to your leg, or you can bring the hand down to the block, which will be next to your calf or behind it. So starting with mountain pose, Tadasana. Separate the feet, about 3 feet wide. I'm going to turn my right foot in, left foot out. Legs are straight. Chest is open. Arms come out. As if I'm karate chopping the left hip. You're reaching, reaching, reaching. Strong back leg. That's where you get your strength and your range of motion. And then a hand can come down on the leg and the other arm goes up. Right? Or you can also come down deeper on your block. And you don't want to let your head hang like I'm doing here, right? No. You want your head, your neck to be aligned, right? Your head with your neck. Attached there. Keep it attached. And you can either look up at your hand, or you can look straight forward, or sometimes I like to look down because my neck gets bothered. Trikonasana. Beautiful. Come on up. Bring the hands in. Don't even early move the feet. Stay wide and just turn to the other side. Your block should be there. Arms come out. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Push into the back leg so that you can get a little room. Good. And then hand comes down on the leg or the block. And roll the shoulder back. And the other arm stacks on top of the shoulder. Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Come on up. Parallel the feet. Scoot them in a little closer and step or jump the feet together. Mountain pose, Tadasana. And let's just roll those shoulders back. Give them a little range of motion by doing a little backstroke. Flipping the palms. Once again, if your shoulders don't like this, A, don't do it, or B, you can bend your elbows and not go all the way around, right? You could still move your shoulders, and you can always just go like this. Yeah, just move them. And then forward stroke, forward stroke, forward stroke. So you're either doing your shoulders like so, or you're using your full arm. Good. And then standing in Tadasana, let's practice some balance work. So we're going to go right into tree pose, right? Vrksasana, strong trees. So think about the feet being your roots. Press into one foot. Try not to shift your hips. Bend the knee. You're going to move the leg, and you're going to bring your foot on your calf or all the way up. Tree pose. If you fall over, hey, come back. Come back, little Shiva. Bring the arms up for your branches. Vrksasana. So we press down to go up and come back down. Shake it out, shake a shake, come back, start over, other side. Here we go, tree pose. Bend one knee. And once again, you can do foot over foot, which actually is kind of challenging for your balance. Or you can do foot on calf, just try not to place it on your knee, even though it seems so convenient. Or you can bring your foot all the way up. I actually struggle with this side. Yeah, all the way up. I think obviously I'm sliding back down to the calf. If you fall out, like I just did, please come back. Try it again. Tree pose. Every day is different. Every day is a new day. But we're here, we're present. So wherever your balance is today is where you're at. Good, beautiful. Shake it out, shake it out. Take your feet wide. Move your blocks off your mat if you haven't already. Feet are wide, toes turn out, heels turn in. I think you kind of know where we're going. So we're going to bend at the hips and the knees for goddess pose. So once again, you don't have to go super low, right? If you do go super low and your knees start going like this, then I recommend you come up a little. And then let's take our hands gently on top of our thighs, our knees. And then let's roll one shoulder back and drop the other shoulder. Maybe you could drop your bum a little lower. And then inhale as we exhale, switch sides. And again, inhale, exhale, come back down. Maybe you can go a little lower. And then inhale, exhale. Yep. Stretch it out 4 more times. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. Come on over. 3. Good. And 4. Beautiful. Lengthen the legs, straighten them out. Bring the hands in front. Exhale. Bring the arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Legs are straight. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Let's practice that 2 more times. Exhale, arms come down. Inhale, arms come up. And last time, legs are straight. Beautiful. Parallel the feet, bend your knees, step or jump the feet together. Tadasana. Beautiful. Okay, let's come down to the mat. Yay, you all think Shavasana, not so much, not yet. Almost there. Okay, come on down. And let's not come to our back yet. Let's sit in Dandasana, staff pose, right? Yeah, sit up tall. Feet are flexed, toes are spread as much as we can. And if it's challenging at this point in our practice to sit up tall, use a wall if you have them. Yeah. Use our props. Hands are on your thigh or right by your side. Let's take a few breaths here. Lengthening the spine. Grateful we can do this, right? Yep, sure am. Okay, if you have your strap close by, you might want to grab it. And then let's draw the right leg in. Actually, for me, I should say left. And let's drop it out. And let's take the sole of the foot towards the inner thigh, the opposite long leg. Now, this might be uncomfortable if you've had a knee replacement or your knees are funky or whatever. Maybe you need to take your foot a little forward so that the heel isn't quite so close to your groin area. You may also take your trusty block and you're going to face your long leg, and your long leg has the knee and toes pointing up, right? Yeah. And let's just sit here for a moment. Grab your strap. Janu Sirsasana. Janu Sirsasana. Always hard to say. Janu Sirsasana. Sit up tall. So we're facing the long leg. Right? And we're going to take the strap in our right hand. Our right knee is out, our right hand. We're going to take our left hand behind us. And we're going to use that like a kickstand to sit up tall. I'm sitting up tall. And then we're turned a little bit. I'm actually taking my strap out away from the inside of my straight leg. And be very, very cautious if you've had any back problems. You might want to just stay here. It's lovely. Opens up the hip, little bit of a twist. Now, if you can, forward fold a little bit on that straight leg, please do so. And I'm going to use both hands on my strap. So you're a little bit, your chest is turned towards that straight leg. So it's a little bit of a twist, a hip opener, and a forward fold. A lot of stuff going on. And let's stay right here for 5 breaths at least. Slow the breath down. Two more breaths. Gently come up. Gently use your hands to release your knee. Straighten out your legs, shake them out. Start in Dandasana again, staff pose, right? We start at the beginning. Sit up tall, feet are flexed, knees are pointing up. And then start to bend that opposite leg, whatever you didn't do. And allow the leg, the knee to move away from you. And see if you can take the sole of that foot to the straight leg, inner thigh. Once again, the knee might not come down. You can use your blanket for support underneath. Lasso that foot with your strap and sit up tall, right? So this precarious Janu-Shirasana might be enough for you today, right? Or I don't know, you might already be in Shavasana. That's the tricks of technology. I can't see you right now. And then go ahead and take that strap, right, to your bent knee side with that hand, and then take the opposite hand behind you, right? The long leg hand is behind you. So I know some of you are the opposite of me. Other way. Correct. Sit up tall. So I'm already in a bit of a twist because I have my arm behind me. You can see that, right? So my chest is facing a little bit of a twist to that leg, and that's perfectly fine, exactly where you are. If it's okay with your back, you can start to fold forward, okay? At a little bit of a twist, only if it's okay. And then if you want to finish the pose, you can bring that back hand around and grab the strap with both hands or grab the foot. And we're going to stay here for 8 breaths. Let your head drop down. Janu-Shirasana. And then come on up carefully. Ooh, yeah, you have to be really careful with that little twist. It's a little deeper than some of us think. Use your hand and draw your knee in. Stretch your leg out. Shake them out. Guess what? You get to come to your back now. Come on down. Right. Roll one vertebrae at a time. If you want to, we're going to do a little bit of twists and then move into Shavasana. If you need to get warm and put a sweatshirt on or have a blanket near you, please do that. In the meantime, just you're on your back, your knees are bent. You're going to draw your right thigh and knee into your chest and extend your left leg. And then you're going to switch sides. And you're going to switch sides again. And again. And then both legs go straight out, flex the feet, press the thighs down, draw the arms up, hook the thumbs, spread the fingers, draw the arms back as far as you can. Shoot that energy out through the heels and through the tips of your fingers. 3 breaths here. Beautiful. Release your arms down by your side. Release your legs. Find your blanket, and if you need it behind your head, go ahead and place it behind your head. But I really recommend today, for just a little bit of weight, like weighted blankets, place your blanket on top of your belly. It's really kind of nice. And then take your hands and encourage your shoulders to move away from your ears. And release your arms. Release your legs. Let your feet fall out. Close your eyes gently and take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Deeply through your mouth. Close your mouth, inhale in. Open your mouth, exhale out. And again, inhale deeply. Hold it at the top, sip in more breath. Sip in a little more. A little more. Open up your mouth. Sigh it out. And quietly and gently find Shavasana. So quietly, gently, without rush, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, stretch your arms over your head. Enjoy being present on your mat. Bend your knees, roll to the right side, use your arm as a pillow and linger there, reaping the benefits of your practice. And when you're ready, use your hands to bring yourself to a seated posture. Sitting up tall, eyes closed, bring your hands together in front of your heart center, thumbs touching your chest, bowing your head gently, honoring yourself for your practice of yoga, being kind and compassionate towards yourself so that you might be kind and compassionate towards others. And let's just close our practice with a little Ralph Waldo Emerson. For each new morning with its light, for rest and shelter of the night, for health and food, for love and friends, for everything thy goodness sends. Happy Thanksgiving. Namaste.